Hi, I'm Nora Schell, Program Coordinator of the Lake Waco Wetlands. We're here to identify some of the fish species that live at the Lake Waco Wetlands. Today I'm joined by Dr. Marty Harville from Baylor University.
Okay, we got a few fish here, kind of muddy, so we're going to have to put them in the buckets. This is one of those real common fish that a lot of people collect when they go fishing. A lot of people call them brim, but really brim is not an accurate name. This is a long ear sunfish, and if you look, it's got a real long membranous flap, and this is probably a female. Males at this time of year will have a really orange belly, and that's usually indicating their breeding colors, and obviously the females are not quite as showy as the males, and so they use that in advertisement to the females that they're ready to court. And now there's something else on this little fish here that we'll try to do a little close-up. Is it's got a little external parasite here on the wing, on the pectoral fin, which is not unusual. That's just part of nature. So there's your a long-eared sunfish. Okay, oh, this is a nice, pretty one. This is a little common carp. It's got this nice gold color. It's got little barbels right here on the side. I don't know if you can zoom in on that, but there's little barbels which kind of indicate it's a carp. Also, if you can look, its mouth is kind of slightly turned down, and these are really bottom feeders and feed on vegetation. So some of the things that we'll be looking at as we go through these fish is the size of their eyes and size of their mouth, and that usually indicates what they like to eat on and where they like to live. So it's a nice little common carp. Here you go. This one you can maybe see. This is another long-eared sunfish, but looky how iridescent. Can you see that iridescence on there? That is a nice male. And now he's not as big as the other one, so you know, as they get older, they'll get more brightly colored, and that kind of advertises to the females that they're older. But this one's, you can already see some of the breeding colors on it. No external parasites on it. Okay, just another carp, a little larger. Now, what's funny about the carp, when you think about them, is that these are actually minnows. And these minnows can get up to 20 pounds. So you don't think of a small minnow getting that large, but minnows are, this particular species of the minnow group gets very large. Also, it's one of the dominant taxas or groups of fishes in North America. Let's get to one of the favorites of most people is largemouth bass. Okay, now hopefully you saw a little bit about the size of the mouth. Now look at the size of that mouth in proportion to its body. I mean, it's smaller than some of those sunfish that we were holding. Remember, those sunfish were about this big. Look at that, I can get my whole thumb inside there. And it feels like sandpaper, really rough grit sandpaper. And probably could even zoom in on there and see some of the little teeth that are sticking out here. Obviously, if we had a bigger fish, you could see them probably on camera right now. Again, it's got what we call a terminal mouth. Notice how the mouth comes right out to the tip, so that basically when it's trying to capture something, the first thing it wants to encounter as far as the prey is they want it to encounter their mouth. And so they'll clamp down on it and swallow it whole. So that's a nice example of a terminal mouth, and usually a good sign of a predator. The eye, proportional to the body, is a little larger. So they're sight feeders, and now bass will eat on anything. At this size, they'll eat smaller fish, they'll eat small crayfish, they'll eat invertebrates of all kinds. But as they get larger, their food items go straight to fish. They're just strictly a fish diet. And the bigger bass really do a good job in lakes and rivers and streams and stuff in kind of controlling populations of what we call filter feeder fish, shads, and keeps those shads from getting too large, because once they get too large, nothing can eat them. These bass do a good job of keeping that under control. These are little bluegills, part of that sunfish group, but to kind of give you an idea, this one right here, hopefully you can get that. This is probably this year's fish. It was hatched sometime this summer. So this is probably just less than a year old, and this is probably about 2 years old. And so you can see that they have an incremental growth, just like if you watch your kids grow and they go first grade, second grade, and so on, their height changes. Fish changes too with age. Now that's all that we've got today in our sample, but there's a lot of other fish that we know that occur out here. There's gar, and there's some other species of buffalo. There's also some, they're called temperate bass, which are striped bass type fish that come in here off of the river. And just notice that we took a small sample. That was a very small sample of the 180 acres out here at the wetland. So we can obviously say that we didn't get everything out here. But if you keep trying and keep seining, you never know what you're going to get here.